What's up everybody, I'm Stella Chung and this is the Weekly Fix, the show where we round up all the gaming and entertainment headlines you may have missed this week. Rumors of a Switch successor continue as people are noticing footage of the sequel to Breath of the Wild looking too high quality. Plus, we deep dive into Kingdom Hearts 4's trailer. In the entertainment world, Thor Love and Thunder breaks an interesting record and leaks for the film might tie some loose ends in the MCU. Stay safe out there and let's get to it.
The folks over at Digital Foundry have raised their eyebrows at the Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel. Now, in their latest episode of DF Direct Weekly, senior staff writer John Linneman praised the latest footage of the game released by Nintendo last month. Now, he said, quote,
"The image quality seemed quite good. I think I was a little bit surprised by how sharp and clear this looked compared to the original in general."
Now, the footage in question shows Link free-falling through the sky with some very impressive-looking clouds floating around him. Now, the game retains that vibrant cel-shaded look of the first Breath of the Wild game, and it does look great. Maybe a little bit too great. Now, another one of the Digital Foundry members is unconvinced that the footage is coming from the Switch based on how few Switch games use volumetric clouds, along with the excellent anti-aliasing present in the footage. They've surmised that either the footage was rendered out at a high resolution or the game is being developed with a more advanced system in mind. Now, if you remember, Breath of the Wild was a Switch launch title and a swan song for the Wii U. Now, Zelda Twilight Princess also straddled two generations of consoles, launching on both the GameCube and its successor, the Wii. Now, so there's, a precedent for a Zelda game to bridge the generational gap between Nintendo consoles. Also, in a recent episode of IGN Now, Brian and Seth bring up this very issue and the fact that Nintendo revealed Breath of the Wild 2 will be delayed. Yeah. Now, what could be causing this delay is the question. Maybe the complications of developing a AAA game for a brand new and hopefully more powerful system. Now, what do y'all think of this? Do these graphics look like they're rendered on the current Switch? Do you think Breath of the Wild 2 was delayed because Nintendo is working on a new console? And what do you think the real title is going to be? Sound off and let us know. Now, shifting gears to another major company in the gaming industry, Blizzard Entertainment has finished its acquisition of Vicarious Visions. Now, Vicarious Visions got its start in the 90s working on handheld ports and licensed games. Now, in recent years, they helped develop the Skylanders games, worked on part of Destiny 2, and released the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy and the Tony Hawk 1 and 2 remaster. Now, the company has been part of Activision for years until Activision moved them over to Blizzard. And now, Vicarious Visions have fully merged with Blizzard and will be supporting Blizzard games for the foreseeable future. And the future is looking quite bright. Yeah, that's right.
Rockstar Games and Remedy announced they will be remaking Max Payne 1 and Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne. Remedy made the surprise announcement in a press release stating the company will work with Rockstar under a new publishing agreement to remake the first two Max Payne games. Remedy will handle development while Rockstar will finance the project aligned with AAA production Remedy is known for. Max Payne 1 and 2 Remake is set to be built on the same Northlight engine as the IGN 2019 Game of the Year winner, Control, and upcoming survival horror game Alan Wake 2. Control's graphical fidelity speaks for itself, and fans are understandably losing their gosh darn minds at the idea of Max Payne getting this much of a glow up. The first Max Payne came out in 2001, telling the story of New York City cop turned vigilante after his wife and child were murdered by drug addicts. Written by Remedy's creative director Sam Lake, who Max Payne's face was modeled after, the game told the gut-wrenching story of an NYPD cop fighting inner and outer demons while turning to addiction himself to cope. The original graphics might be dated, but Max Payne's cinematic storytelling and bullet time mechanics left their mark on video game history. The Rockstar-developed Max Payne 3 was received well enough, but many fans felt it lacked Remedy's magic touch. Now the big question, will Sam Lake lend his likeness to Max Payne once again? Performance capture has come a long way, and Sam didn't hesitate to don the black leather coat for Max's 20th anniversary last year. I guess it's either that or they get Mark Wahlberg again. Ooh. Sam, if you're watching this, please do it. Another much less M-rated collaboration was also announced. Epic Games and LEGO are working together to create a child-safe corner of the metaverse. A press release from Epic Games promised the space will prioritize the well-being of kids thanks to a variety of safeguards and privacy features, while also empowering children and adults alike to creatively enjoy the experience. No details of what this digital experience will actually look like, but Epic promises a seamless, interchangeable experience where children can develop lifelong skills through collaboration, communication, and creativity through digital experiences. Which is groundbreaking, assuming those kids haven't discovered Minecraft or Roblox. We have seen other games prioritize a safe platform for children, and despite their best efforts, games like Roblox are still heavily criticized for how much room for improvement there is in the child-proofing department. Clearly, LEGO is already experimenting with ways to protect children in-game. The internet recently discovered that child NPCs in LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga take no damage, so of course players are now using these unkillable underage minifigs to glitch their way across large pits and spaces. Let's hope this isn't the future of Epic and LEGO's metaverse. Regardless, this venture seems promising, and LEGO and Fortnite sound like the best combination, since LEGO and Star Wars, or LEGO and Minecraft, or really LEGO goes with anything, aside from bare feet. No. And lastly, it looks like Riot Games' free-to-play first-person shooter Valorant is coming to mobile based on leaked images of playtests in China. The popular shooter has been a hit since it launched on PC in 2020 with fresh new agents, content, and skins. Players have been requesting a mobile port for so long, and it looks like their prayers are finally answered. This news comes by way of some leaked images that surfaced on social media. They showcase the sleek mobile lobby, agent select screen, a loading screen, and a screenshot from the Ascent map. Riot still hasn't officially announced a mobile version, let alone a release date, but if these leaked images are legit, it's well underway. Mobile gaming is a huge market in China, but if Valorant gets a mobile version there, it's safe to assume the rest of the world will follow soon. Square Enix gave Kingdom Hearts fans everywhere a heart attack this past weekend by announcing Kingdom Hearts 4 with a teaser that is absolutely gorgeous and stunning. But what's really getting die-hard fans emotional is that the trailer may have teased a Star Wars arc. Square Enix announced Kingdom Hearts 4 during Kingdom Hearts' 20th anniversary event, unveiling Sora wearing normal-sized shoes, what looks to be an open-world Tokyo, and pretty epic combat. The Kingdom Hearts 4 demo developed on Unreal Engine 4 shows off a more realistic environment than what most fans are used to, but for a fraction of a second we get a glimpse of some foliage. Very out of the blue considering the entire teaser is focusing on a city landscape, but if you look closer you can see what looks to be a Star Wars AT-ST foot. Using a side-by-side comparison, it is uncanny, but this could be Star Wars Planet Endor. Considering Disney owns the rights to Star Wars, this wouldn't be a stretch to assume there will be a Star Wars arc in Kingdom Hearts 4. Each game series features several Disney-themed worlds to play through, including Toy Story, Beauty and the Beast, Frozen, and The Little Mermaid. Square Enix has not confirmed if this will be the case, but come on, you can't tell me that's not Endor. Previously, series creator Tetsuya Nomura confirmed that the reason Star Wars and Marvel properties did not appear in Kingdom Hearts 3 was simply because of contractual issues. If those conversations have been resolved, it's entirely possible we could see brand new universes pop up for the upcoming game. I'm calling it right now. I'm speculating that Tony Stark and Sora are going to be the best of friends. Can you imagine? Mind-blowing, man. Star Scourge Radhan has been the scourge of many Elden Ring players, but they've discovered a way of tricking this boss into beating himself. It's not a total cakewalk since you still have to whittle Radhan's health down to 50%, but as demonstrated by Reddit user homegrowncrown7 and Izuka_ on Twitter, once the demigod enters his second phase, lure him towards the water at the edge of the arena when he does his big leap attack. His next move is to literally go ballistic and attack the player by crashing down in comet form. But if you pull off this trick, he'll wind up splashing down in the water instead. Apparently, the famed Red Lion does about as well with water as most house cats do. And let me tell you, that heavy-ass lion armor does not work as a flotation device. Now we just gotta figure out how to get Margaret to fall off that cliff, or to make Millennia get food poisoning and call in sick to work. Or something. Speaking of bosses, Nintendo has just added a boss rush mode to Metroid Dread in a free update. Fans can now take on bosses one after another, with Samus's missiles replenishing after each battle, but damage taken continuing into the next fight. Beating each boss upgrades Samus's abilities, adding to the player's max missiles, energy tanks, and power bombs. The update also includes another mode, Survival Rush Mode, which is similar to Boss Rush, but instead players have a limited amount of time to defeat as many enemies as possible. Missiles and health are not replenished between fights, but beating a boss will put more time on the clock, and not taking damage will earn you a bonus. If that sounds too easy, there's a one-hit kill dread mode. This challenges players to face 12 bosses in a row without taking a single hit. For most people, this is going to take a few tries, and luckily there's also a practice mode so you can get a feel for how to tackle each boss. This is the second major update to Metroid Dread since its launch last October, so make good use of the modes, and oh, don't forget to upload your gameplay to YouTube. And finally, Square Enix has filed a trademark in Japan hinting at a possible revival to the 2-decade-old strategy RPG series, Ogre Battle. On Thursday, March 31st, a trademark application was filed by Square Enix for Tactics Ogre Reborn. Square Enix hasn't said anything official on the matter, but with the summer video game marketing announcement window, formerly known as E3, coming up, it seems safe to expect a reveal. The tactical role-playing and real-time strategy game series began in 1993 with Ogre Battle, the March of the Black Queen for SNES, with the most recent entry being 2010's PSP Tactics Ogre Let Us Cling Together. Yasumi Matsuno, who directed both, has been keeping busy with other Square Enix projects like Final Fantasy XIV and the tactical RPG Unsung Story.
The founder of Oddworld Inhabitants says that Oddworld Soulstorm being a free game on PlayStation Plus was devastating for game sales. Now, Oddworld Soulstorm was free to download on PlayStation Plus for April, and according to founder Lorne Lanning, the game was downloaded close to 4 million times. Now, that number far exceeded the studio's expectations of 50 to about 100,000 downloads. Now, in an Xbox Expansion Pass podcast, Lanning stated there was nothing malicious from Sony about the deal, but that the circumstances made it a double-edged sword. Now, Lanning continued that Oddworld Inhabitants and its partner developers were already struggling when Sony approached the studio in January, but because it was facing, quote, a number of legacy technical debt issues and talent issues, it didn't expect Oddworld Soulstorm on PlayStation 5 to earn more than what Sony essentially funded for development to finish the game. Now, this ultimately poses the question for games on subscription platforms like PlayStation Plus and Xbox Game Pass, if launching on such services at day one can be devastating for their bottom line. Now, there is no evidence to suggest that the 4 million units that were downloaded for free would be transferred into sales for Oddworld Soulstorm, but we don't know if Xbox and PlayStation take into consideration a studio's lost profit when it performs well on subscription plans, but not in game sales. Now, there have been many developers who have hailed PS Plus for establishing games like Rocket League and Fall Guys, but the current climate of game making is getting harder and harder as stories like Oddworld Inhabitants having financial issues isn't new among studios. Now, we'll have to see how things such as this shake out over at PlayStation with its new and upcoming 3-tier PlayStation Plus model. Moving on, an Elden Ring player is being hailed by the community for his consistent efforts in helping players beat one of the most powerful bosses in the game. Acclaimed hero Let Me Solo Her is hailed among the online community for his support in helping fellow Tarnished beat one of the hardest bosses in the game, Melania. Now, Reddit user Says813 details their unsuccessful attempts at beating Melania, opting for assistance when a fellow Tarnished with no armor and just a jar helmet was seen with the name Let Me Solo Her. Now, with the host kinda hanging back and watching, the jar helmet wearing Tarnished flawlessly defeats Melania, but the gamer goes on to post on Reddit stating they will do their best to support any Tarnished to defeat Melania. Now, either this fellow has a grudge against Melania or he just really digs the fight. I don't know. Not to mention Hero over here wearing absolutely no pants, armor, clothes, just a damn jar helmet to beat Melania. I mean, you gotta admit, that's pretty impressive. And finally, a scientist used facial reconstruction technology on a skeleton model from Bethesda's open world game, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, and it's blowing fans' minds. Yeah, it's insane. Now, a Twitter user who is part of the Ancestral Whispers cranial reconstruction research team shared what appears to be a normal post on facial reconstruction, but the specimen in question isn't real, but rather from an ancient race in the Elder Scrolls universe. The Atamarans are considered to be the progenitors of the Nolds and by proxy the Imperials. Yes. Now the tweet got attention from a Bethesda developer and the actual designer of the skeleton, Jonah Loeb, who was quite impressed, stating, "You did an awesome job with the reconstruction. I wanted them to look thuggish, thick-jawed, thick-browed, and sort of Neanderthal-like. This is that." Eat your Hellboy heart out, Ron Perlman. There's a new thick brow and jaw in town. And it's fictional. Yeah, it doesn't exist.
It's time to take a quick break, but when we come back, we discuss Thor: Love and Thunder breaking a record you may not like. And Black Panther 2's director is joining the Ironheart series team. Stay tuned. Welcome back! Leaked action figures for Thor: Love and Thunder might be filling fans in with information regarding the film's plot. But before that Thor news, the film now holds the MCU record for shortest window between first look and release. Let's find out what this exactly means.
Now, with just 3 months away from its slated July 8th release date, we still haven't gotten a trailer for Thor: Love and Thunder. Now, even though we know little about the film, it's already broken an MCU record, though it's one that a lot of Marvel fans would rather not see. Now, Taika Waititi's Marvel flick takes on the title of having the shortest window between a first look trailer and the MCU film debuting in theaters. Now, the last Marvel movie to hold this unfavorable title was 2008's The Incredible Hulk, just to give you a bit of scope on how long-standing this record was. So when exactly can we expect to get the first look at this Marvel movie? Well, lead actor Chris Hemsworth took to his Instagram account to post this image of him, Tessa Thompson, and Waititi doing long lead press for Love and Thunder. Now, there's been theories floating around on the internet, naturally speculating that there's hidden messaging in this photo. Now, if you count the amount of fingers pointed upward, there's a total of 11, which has led many to anticipate the trailer dropping on April 11th. Now, what's more is that people even read further into their hand gestures, with Waititi having 2 fingers up for the 11th, Chris doing the rock signal for 4, the 4th month of the year, April, and Tessa doing 2 peace signs for 2022, the year that we are currently in. Now, I feel like this might be a bit of a reach by fans, I don't know, or their subtle way of letting us fans know when we can expect Love and Thunder's first trailer to drop. But you know what? They could be also waiting for a big event to drop the trailer on, like maybe, NBA playoffs that begin April 16th. So we might see it then, we might see it sooner or later, who knows? Now, at least we know when to expect the movie, July 8th. Now, in other news, Sonic is killing it in previews at the domestic box office, scoring $6.25 million from Wednesday fan screenings and Thursday showtimes. Now, according to Deadline, Sonic 2 is expected to make just shy of $50 million this weekend. Now, given the box office success of the first film, honestly expect nothing less from our favorite blue hedgehog. And finally, also raking in the big bucks, is the first ever issue of Captain America, which sold for a record-breaking $3.1 million. Whew. Now, this near mint copy of Captain America #1 was auctioned off by Heritage Auctions, where they detailed the infamous comic book's cover, the first appearance of the Red Skull, as well as Cap and Bucky. Now, Captain America #1 came out way back when in 1941. 1941! Yeah, I remember that year. No, I don't. I was nowhere near being born yet. Captain America #1 came out back in 1941, and now there's some rich person out there who owns a piece of Marvel history. I salute you, whomever you are. With no trailer just yet for Thor: Love and Thunder, Marvel fans are taking whatever they can to get a sneak peek at the Asgardian and what things might look like in the upcoming movie. Now, leaked on Reddit's Marvel Studios spoilers, this Reddit user gave us a snapshot of some upcoming Marvel Legends Thor: Love and Thunder action figures. And by the looks of things, we have a Ravager Thor, Natalie Portman's Mighty Thor, and Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher. Now, we also see Groot, Star-Lord, and King Valkyrie, who will be joining Thor in this battle for love, thunder, and whatever else Thor 4 is all about. Now, it makes sense for us to see the Guardians of the Galaxy members pop up in Thor: Love and Thunder, especially after this toy line revealing Ravager Thor will make an appearance. Now, for those unfamiliar with the Ravagers, they're an interstellar crime organization with various factions across the galaxy. And one notable member of the Ravagers is Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord. Yeah, now we still haven't gotten a precise date on when the trailer for the MCU film will drop, but thanks to this Instagram post from the Hindi dub actor for Chris Hemsworth, we know that he's at least finished his voice recordings for the trailer. So if they're wrapping up the international dubs for the trailer, maybe it's only a matter of time before Marvel shows us some love and drops the thunderous trailer onto our laps. Now, in other superhero news, The Batman is coming to streaming very, very soon. In fact, it's coming a day sooner than anticipated. Expect to see Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, and the rest of the Dark Knight's Rogues Gallery show up when The Batman lands on HBO Max April 18th. Now, in our Perfect Score review, IGN said, Matt Reeves' violent, thrilling, darkly beautiful take on The Batman more than justifies its place in the franchise's canon. And I agree, yeah. And finally, check out these new Doctor Strange 2 posters. Now, the Multiverse of Madness cast is on full-on display in these new teaser posters released by Marvel Entertainment. Now, tweeted out with the caption, "Ready to enter the multiverse?" Well, I think it's safe to say, yes, indeed, we all are. And we'll be able to experience all the madness the multiverse has to offer come May 6th. Looks like the director of Black Panther 2, Ryan Coogler, has been tapped to join the creative team behind the upcoming Disney Plus series Ironheart. Now, according to The Hollywood Reporter, Coogler's Proximity Media is joining the series with him serving as executive producer. Now, Angela Barnes and Sam Bailey will both serve as directors for a few episodes. And actor Dominic Thorne will take on the role of Riri Williams, aka Ironheart, and will be introduced to the brilliant inventor in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. So it makes sense to see Ryan Coogler somehow attached to the upcoming Disney Plus project, and while we know little about the upcoming series or her role in Black Panther 2, we can rest assured it'll have that unique and intriguing touch that made Black Panther such an enthralling movie. And hopefully through the Ironheart series, we'll start to see more Black Panther characters cross over into the small screen as we've seen in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now, curious to know your thoughts on the Ironheart series. Are you excited for it? What are you hoping to see? Sound off below. And in other news, WB is allegedly waiting to see how Fantastic Beasts: Secrets of Dumbledore performs in theaters before greenlighting any future sequels. Now, this news comes to us from Variety, which claims that the 5-film plan for the Fantastic Beasts franchise now hinges upon the success of Secrets of Dumbledore and how well received it'll be by audiences. Now, this hasn't been confirmed by WB, but with the controversies that have arisen over the years from some of the stars of the franchise, particularly Ezra Miller's recent disorderly conduct and Johnny Depp's forced resignation due to abuse allegations, it'll come as no surprise if the studio does in fact have some doubts in the overall franchise's success. And we'll have to wait and see how Potter fans receive the Secrets of Dumbledore when it hits theaters April 15th. And finally, get a load of more Strange with this new promo Marvel just dropped. Now we can hear the Ancient One talking about the multiverse, Mordor, fighting Doctor Strange, and appearances from Wanda and America Chavez. Now, according to Mordor, in the trailer, Strange's reckoning is long overdue. Now, he'll likely have to answer for all this fiddling around with the multiverse when Doctor Strange 2 hits theaters May 6th.
T1's Faker is arguably one of the most famous esports players ever, and with that success comes a lot of pressure and offers, and even a building. In case you aren't familiar with Faker's income, he's one of the best paid esports players. Reportedly, he will earn over $5.8 million in 2022, but he could have been making more if he had taken up an offer to play in China for a salary of $20 million. But as incredible a League player that Faker is, he's also a great investor, and he's admitted to only spending an average of $170 monthly because T1 provides food and housing.
He doesn't need money, right? Like he has money, he's super successful, he's made really strong investments in Korea. I mean, there's literally a building he owns called Faker Tower that his company's in the top floor and he subleases it out and it's worth a lot of money.
Another part of his investing, real estate in the form of Faker Tower, located in the Seoul district where he grew up. There are 11 floors total, with most of the building being used as medical facilities. If you ever find yourself in South Korea, you can search Faker Tower in Google Maps and you'll be able to visit it and enjoy its cafe. With all of that, plus his family in South Korea, it's easier to understand why Faker would pass up on $20 million. I'm Stella Chung, and that was your Weekly Fix. We'll be back here next Saturday with more of the biggest gaming and entertainment news of the week. See you then.